All right, boys. They had their third and final preseason game this weekend, Cakes. I was actually at the club while the game was going on. I had to record it. Came home and watched it. You know, there was about 25 guys or so that were inactive or weren't going to play. Some of the interesting names that you could kind of keep an eye on that I was interested in. Cole Turner was active. Quan Martin was active. Obviously, you had your two backup quarterbacks were active. I was curious to see what Chris Rodriguez could do. And most of those guys didn't disappoint, to be honest with you. Jake Fromm, by the way, had a big day. I really don't pay much attention to these numbers, but 13 of 18 for 144, 2 touchdowns. Jacoby Brissett did throw a touchdown also. He was 10 for 15. He had a quarterback rating of 106. There have been some whispers from people that Fromm has outplayed Brissett. I think at the end of the day, though, Brissett's the clear number 2 just based on experience. Mm-hmm. Fromm will probably be released and picked up and added to the practice squad. I don't think that there's going to be another team that would pick him up in that 24-hour window. The running back situation, basically when it comes down to roster shaping and putting this together for a 53-man roster, if you listen to most of the media guys locally that cover this team, it's by most accounts, it's coming down to running back and receiver. How many receivers are going to keep? What are they going to do with their running backs? They've got running backs here that can clearly play in the league, that are on the bubble and probably going to end up on the practice squad and just be in an up-and-down situation week to week. Jared Patterson is one of those guys. He, every time he's given an opportunity, he finds a way to be productive and exciting. He had 8 carries for 51 yards. He had a 19-yard run. Jonathan Williams just runs hard. I think he plays special teams. He just does a little of everything. Mm-hmm. He's a massive human. Every time I see Jonathan Williams play, I like him. But they've just got a crowded backfield. Chris Rodriguez Jr., he showed well. He had a 25-yard run. He had 7 carries for 52 yards, averaging 7 yards a pop. He's going to make the roster. He's a draft pick. Yep. I think it'll be Gibby, Rodriguez, obviously, and Brian Robinson. After that, I think some of these guys are going to
Patterson or whether they favor Williams.
I think they're going to have bad days on Tuesday, and then Wednesday will be a little bit better when they get picked up.
The Washington Post has their roster projection and has them cutting Williams, Patterson, and Derek Gore. He didn't mention at running back.
Yeah, for sure. But I think
just keeping the top.
I think
3.
at least 2 of those will be back on the practice squad. I think Jared Patterson will be back unless someone picks him up, because all he does is put good stuff on film. And the same thing with Jonathan Williams, who's just a survivor. Right, who's been in the league 6 or 7 years.
I think one of the other questions offensively is at tight end. And like Washington Post has them cutting Curtis Hodges because that guy Alex Arma can play fullback.
Curtis Hodges
and
has done nothing. Curtis Hodges on paper is a beast. He's 6'8".
Yeah.
He's everything you want. He just hasn't done anything. I think he had 1 catch this weekend. The guy that keeps forcing his way potentially onto this roster, I think they'll cut him and pick him up, is Mitchell Tinsley. He had another really big day. He almost had 2 touchdowns. They called back the second right at the goal line, but he did have a touchdown and 3 catches for 89 yards. As Jason mentioned, he played at Penn State. I think he had 51 catches after Dotson left.
Yep.
He's just been a consistent name that everyone's talked about from the start of camp until the end of preseason.
You have a talented young receiver. You don't want to just cut him and let another team swoop in and pick him up.
Right.
You want to try to protect him.
So I don't know what they're going to do there. Maybe they'll pull some shenanigans. Maybe they'll put maybe they'll release Dax Mill to kind of hide Tinsley, then, claim he's got an injury or something, put Tinsley on IR, and then bring back Milne, because they do like Milne. Milne catches most everything. He did have a drop on a slant, but he catches everything, makes good decisions on punt returns. The guy who struggled, if anybody really did on Saturday, that was kind of on the bubble, is Kaz.
Yeah.
He dropped the punt. I think he dropped 2 passes. He's got all of the athleticism in the world, but he just may not be quite ready for prime time. But who knows what they're going to do there? If you listen to Ron after the game, he sounded like, that's what you kind of live and die with that with young players. But it almost sounded like he was pro Kaz Allen. So I don't know what they're going to do.
But that's the one game where Kaz Allen really has to show.
Yeah, it was his opportunity.
Yeah.
Diame had a little bit of playing time, but he made a nice grab. After that was comfortably on the sideline. I'm telling you, I'm getting good Diame Brown vibes.
Oh, you are.
Oh,
You're feeling it over there.
I'm getting some Diame Brown vibes. Like, he's just going to be, especially if Terry is out for a couple weeks.
You just wonder how many snaps per game a fourth receiver gets. They don't get many snaps.
Yeah, but Samuel always gets hurt. Terry's nicked up.
Based
I
on
don't know.
injuries, and you
Listen,
never
I'm
know.
not saying 80 catches.
Yeah.
I'm saying like 30.
Yeah.
That's what
30 would be a huge leap for
I
him.
just think, I don't know. I saw him interviewed on the sideline. I think it was our buddy Logan Paulson interviewed him on the sideline, and he just talked about how he made a concerted effort this offseason to be in better shape, that he knew that Bieniemy was going to run some high-intensity practices, tempo and pace was going to be a big part of it, and I think it's paid
and
off.
also, it's like it's a career reckoning for him. Like, you can't keep turning in seasons where you have 4 catches or 6 catches or 12 catches.
Right.
Like, when you're a third-round pick, the team expects you to produce when they spend that sort of draft capital on you. So he knows he has to.
But also
have a big
remember,
year.
McLaurin's going to be out for a week 2, 3, who knows, whatever. Then obviously,
Is he definitely going to be out in week 1?
I'm just guessing.
I wouldn't put him out there till he's
I don't know if he's going to be out. I'm
close
just
to
saying
100.
if he is, then you obviously have to. All those guys kind of move up.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You have to have another guy.
So the question is, are they going to keep 6? Are they going to keep 7? They tend to keep a little more than maybe you would think, 1 extra. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I do think Cole Turner had a big preseason, big camp. I think he expanded on what he did last year. So I'm expecting Cole Turner to have a contributor. He's going to be a contributor
That's the
this
guy,
year.
if he can stay healthy, especially with Logan Thomas's health in question, where that opportunity is right there in front of him. Second-year guy, 5th-round pick, huge opportunity and chance for him to shine at least early in the season before Thomas comes back.